You're scrolling through endless digital piano listings because you want something that will actually sit on your living room floor, feel like a real piano when you play, and won't disappear into a drawer the moment you've paid for it. You're not after a glossy spec sheet, you want a piano that lets you practice daily without a headache. That sounds good enough for a home recital, and that justifies the price tag you're about to spend. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at the Kawai ES120, the first thing that made me pause was the combination of a full 88-key hammer action keyboard, built-in speakers, and a full stand and triple pedal kit all bundled together. That's a lot of hardware in one box, and it can be a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you get a ready-to-play setup without hunting down a separate bench or stand. On the other, you have to trust that the included pieces are up to the task of everyday use. The risk with a bundled package is that one component, usually the stand or the pedals, ends up feeling like an afterthought, and you end up buying a separate, sturdier piece anyway. I dug into forums, watched a handful of YouTubers who specialize in home piano gear, and read through the handful of reviews that actually talk about the day-to-day experience. The consensus was clear. The ES120 is the sweet spot for anyone who wants a serious practice instrument but isn't ready to commit to a full-size acoustic piano or a separate, high-end digital model with an external speaker system. If you're a student, a gigging musician who needs a portable stage piano, or a parent looking for a reliable first instrument for a teenager, this is the kind of piano that shows up on recommendation lists. Who should buy it? If you're looking for an instrument that feels close enough to a traditional piano to develop proper technique, the ES120's Responsive Hammer Compact, RHC, action is the first win. It's not the same as Kawai's top-tier grand feel actions, but it does give each key a weighted feel that mimics the resistance you'd get on a wooden piano. That matters when you're practicing scales for an hour straight. The keys don't feel mushy, and you can train finger strength without constantly adjusting your touch. For a home practice environment, the built-in Spatial H speakers are surprisingly competent. They project a balanced sound that fills a modest living room without the need for external amplification. I tested it on a carpeted floor and on a hardwood surface. The bass doesn't get lost, and the mids stay clear enough for chord work and melodic lines. The triple pedal assembly is another practical highlight. Many entry-level digital pianos ship with a single sustain pedal, but the ES120 includes soft, una corda, and sostenuto pedals as well. That means you can experiment with dynamics and pedaling techniques that are essential for classical repertoire or jazz voicings. The pedals feel solid, and the footboard is positioned at a height that matches the stand, so you don't have to hunch over or stretch uncomfortably. If you're a student who's already learning proper pedal technique, this is a genuine upgrade over the one-pedal-only crowd. Now for the trade-offs. The first thing many owners notice is that the built-in speakers, while decent for personal use, won't replace a dedicated amp if you plan to perform in a larger venue. The sound is optimized for a bedroom or small studio. Push the volume too high and you'll start hearing a bit of distortion, especially on the lower register. That isn't a flaw for a home player, but it's a limitation to keep in mind if you're hoping to take this piano on the road. Another point is the stand. Kawai's HML2 is sturdy enough for daily use, yet it's not as massive as a traditional piano bench and stand combo. If you have a child who likes to hop on furniture or a pet that likes to perch, you may need to occasionally tighten the bolts, something that's not required with a solid wood stand. The bench that comes with the package is a standard, upholstered piece that does the job. It's comfortable enough for short practice sessions, but if you're planning marathon rehearsals, you might want a higher-backed, ergonomically designed bench. That said, the fact that the whole set arrives as a single bundle saves you the hassle and expense of hunting down compatible accessories. You can unpack, assemble, and sit down within 20 minutes, which is a huge convenience factor for anyone who isn't a DIY enthusiast. From a value-for-money perspective, the ES120 checks a lot of boxes. You're paying for the Kawai brand reputation, a reputable hammer action, and a respectable speaker system, all for a price that sits comfortably below many competing models that require you to buy a stand and pedals separately. The 25 built-in sounds, ranging from grand piano to electric piano and some orchestral patches, give you enough variety to experiment with different genres without needing a separate sound module.